Boston hasn't won a championship in 15 years. And before that, the last time they won, I was a freshman in high school in Boston. Is this the year?
It very well could be. I think we've all had them pegged as the Eastern Conference champion since, July. So if they falter now against a Pacers team that was a 6th seed and that is young and that was not even expected to be anywhere near this deep in the postseason, that would be a colossal failure. The question has always been, if the Celtics get to the finals, were they going to be good enough to beat the Denver Nuggets? Well, that problem is solved. Are they going to be good enough to beat the Timberwolves or the Mavericks? I think they could match up well with both of them. And I think if Kristaps Porzingis gets healthy some point during the course of the conference finals and is ready to play in the finals, I think the Celtics are going to be an incredibly tough opponent for either of the Western Conference teams. But I don't know, Suzy. I really don't know. The Celtics, this is their 6th conference finals in the last, I think, 8 years, which is incredible. It is the most successful overall run of any team and the most consistent by far. And that Tatum and Brown tandem has been incredible at their best. But they have these like glitches at times, right? Sometimes it's a quarter, sometimes it's a game, sometimes it's a series. And they, I think everybody kind of looks at them with admiration for their talent and everything that they've done, but with a little bit of skepticism or suspicion because they have these untimely pratfalls. They had more talent than the Warriors 2 years ago in the finals, and by a lot of measures maybe should have won that series. And now they're a little bit older. They're a little more experienced. They're a little bit, I think, deeper and better built. And especially if they have Porzingis, they will be in much better shape to try to win a championship in a couple weeks than they were 2 years ago.
Hey, Howard, I'm a Celtics fan, so I watch these games with frustration and anticipation. Like you said, they do a lot of dumb things. They give a lot of games away, kind of careless the way they play at times. What is the opinion of Joe Mazzulla? Do you think he's done a great job? Does he get enough credit because he's kind of coaching a quote-unquote super team? What is your assessment of him in year 2?
Mazzulla's in an interesting spot, right? Because, as we know, 2 summers ago, he's thrust into the spotlight, into this job when Ime Udoka had to step down, and he didn't have much in the way of experience at the NBA level or period. And it was a bumpy, I think, first year for him. And I'm sure you, like a lot of Celtics fans, were ready to throw him overboard at times. I think he's acquitted himself really well in year 2. He's more comfortable. He has, I think, managed a rotation that is filled with talent, right? It's not a super team by traditional standards, but 2 stars, a bunch of other guys who have been stars or have star capability. And I think he's managed it all really well. I think he's grown into the role. I think that he could probably stand to be a little bit more, loose, personable in his interactions with the media, because I think part of the tension or the skepticism of him has been that the way he presents sometimes is a little uptight and very self-serious. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't necessarily matter for a head coach, but, public relations kind of matters too. Messaging matters. And I think people, when they see that, they wonder, well, my God, if you feel this uptight in your press conferences, what are you like in the locker room? And so, but I think it also is a case where when you're young and in that job and in that role, with all the pressure and all the expectations and spotlight that comes with that job in particular, it's also understandable. And I think it takes time to get comfortable enough in yourself and in that role to maybe let your guard down a little bit.
Well, and you're following up Ime, who I always said he was the toughest player on the team, and he was the head coach, and he wasn't exactly Mr. Nice Guy.
Suzy Shuster and I covered Ime Udoka in Laker training camp about 100 years ago, so there's that.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.